Hi, this is David Beckham. Well, firstly, I want to welcome you to our first Inter Miami Academy. The Academy is an important place for me. It's an important place for our club. It's an important place for our city. It's where you're going to gain long life friends. It's where you're going to learn about the game. It's where you're going to be taught the game. And it's where you're going to be spending a lot of your time. So welcome. It's a very important part for me because I know how important academies are in clubs. This is our city, this is your city, this is our club. So welcome, enjoy it, stay focused, keep the energy up, and enjoy it.
Let's go! Let's go!
Congratulations, baby!
Okay, so here we are, another edition of La Familia Talks with Southern Legion. Here we have Mr. Terry Allen, Noah Allen's father. My company today is Maya Rodriguez. She is one of our Southern Legion members as well. And well, today we want to talk about Noah's family, pretty much how he started on soccer, where he went through, what is his background on this type of sports. And also to start, Terry, I want to ask you, how does it feel to be the father of a professional soccer player?
It's pretty exciting. It's fun. It's funny. I tell people humbly, "Oh, my son plays for Inter Miami," and they're like, "How do you not put that?" This is the first statement when we introduced each other. But no, seriously, humbly, I'm excited for him and the team and my city because for me, this is rooting for the home team.
I can imagine that. Especially seeing the backgrounds. I mean, I know you guys used to be with us in Southern Legion. I mean, you're a Southern Legion member as well. So
Sure.
seeing you guys involved.
It's exciting to see when my kid was in a different academy, there was no team, and there was a group of people who wanted a team to be here, and to run into people and say, "Hey, soon it's coming," and for it to be really happening is exciting. I mean, it's really exciting, unbelievable.
Yeah, I remember those days. I mean, it used to be a small group of people, then it got big, then again it went a little small, and again we got a huge amount of followers now. So yeah, it is exciting. Like you said, back in the day, there was no team, no colors, no names.
No.
And I remember you taking Noah once to our house, our home, like our soccer.
Sure.
Remember those days? Yeah, that's cool. I have a question. Your family. I mean, Noah's siblings. How many are they? Like kids?
So Noah has a little brother. He's 12 years old.
That was my question.
He loves to watch it. He loves to play at FIFA, and he's still at an age that he wants to play. So that's the next step. Believe it or not, he's more a baseball player. So in this house, I grew up. I'm from Miami myself, so second generation from Miami, and I grew up playing baseball. So Noah played baseball when he was little, and
oh, look at that.
Yeah, he played baseball, a little bit of basketball, and of course football. Was because he's a left-footed. Because he just has a calmness in his game that he always seemed to make it. And we had to make a choice when he was young, baseball or or soccer, and he chose to play soccer.
How did you find out that soccer was his passion?
So it's funny that you say that. I fell in love in the game in 01. So that's probably, I'm an old guy still falling in love in the beautiful game. But so he was born in 2004, and his grandmother used to play. She's left-footed, and they used to play in the front patio. And he was like 1.5, 2 years old. And I would come home and I'd see the left foot. I say, yes, he's got a left foot. And seriously, from then on, we kind of just learned the game, as gringos, and fell in love with the sport because the passion is higher than a Dolphins Jets game. It's
in the blood.
It is in the blood, the culture, the religion. It's everything. So we learned that, and as he grew up, and when he was 10 years old, he had to make a decision. 9, 10 years old, he had to make a decision because football is 10 months of the year. And, baseball has seasons, 3 months, 4 months, 4 months, 4 months. So you could play other sports with baseball, but not with soccer, with football. You had to choose. And it was a tough choice. 9, 10, maybe not for him, but for me it was, because I played baseball and I wanted to teach him my game.
Yeah, I can
But,
imagine that. I
yeah,
mean,
so
sports involvement comes from the parents, right? And then he decides where he wants to run it, and he chose soccer. That's something
yeah.
to go out. Now, can you run us a little bit into like how did he started with, you know, like with soccer on his career, like the first academy he went to,
Sure.
now he went on growing to get into Inter Miami, so we all have an idea how that
So
happened.
it's funny how things happen. You know, me and my wife, we were looking for years we lived in Miramar, and we started, he was 4 or 5 years old. We started with an academy in Miramar, a little one. And we were looking for a home at the same time. And we purchased a home in West Pines, and West Pines United, which was a smaller but bigger club at the time, is 3 blocks away, 4 blocks away.
Perfect.
So it just kind of blended the culture. You know, we met some very good coaches, and luckily he was blessed. I'll be honest, from his U6 to U8, and those are like real young ages, right? 6 years old, 8 years old, 10 years old. He had some great foundation coaches,
That's
guys that, yeah, they drilled in. I mean, that was the one thing I loved about being where we were, is that they were rooted in like discipline and, you know, technique and things that, you know, it wasn't just physicality. It was a lot of things that as Americans we needed to hear. And so from there he went from West Pines to at U12 to Weston FC, which at the time Weston FC was the only team that had a true academy, and they had an academy system that played around the country. And again, blessed with great coaches. I mean, one of the USA scouting coaches, Juan Carlos Machia. He was a U.S. scout. He's from down in Kendall. He's still around scouting out in the world, and he kind of, you know, he was one of his first coaches over at Weston, and it was great. And from there on, he's had nothing but great coaches. So that's the most important thing I've seen with the academy, is that we've been in the right academy that has great coaching.
Gol, 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 Noah, gol, Noah, gol! Gol, Noah!
So the decisions were the right ones on that forged path, because I mean, every success story comes like that, right? It's like you said, everything was meant to be little by little started, you know, adding together and all that. That's good. That's good to know. And well, I mean, he got to Inter Miami, right? And I want to ask you, how was that day that Neville called him to the first team? I mean, how was it in the family? Because one thing is a player, right? He gets excited. We don't have Noah here to ask him how it was for him. But I mean, for the family, it's like an excitement, right? I mean, how did it
Hold
run?
it. Let me FaceTime him in.
it was a
one day
holiday.
for sure. We will like
So
to have
I'll tell you, I mean, it definitely surreal. The first day when he was with Weston still, and he got the announcement, it came by a message by David Beckham.
Ooh.
And it was surreal. It was like, welcome to the academy, you know, with the British
Wow.
accent, and you know, it was like, it was just like tear down the eye. You know, you can't explain. It's like you wanted to relive it over and over and over again.
Hi, this is David Beckham. Well, firstly, I want to welcome you to our first Inter Miami Academy. The Academy is an important place for me. It's an important place for our club. It's an important place for our city. It's where you're going to gain long life friends. It's where you're going to learn about the game. It's where you're going to be taught the game. And it's where you're going to be spending a lot of your time. So welcome. It's a very important part for me, because I know how important academies are in clubs. This is our city, this is your city, this is our club. So welcome, enjoy it, stay focused, keep the energy up, and enjoy it.
Let's go! Let's go!
Congratulations, baby!
I remember the first meetings. We had a meeting with Phil Neville, Chris Henderson, Nicky Bulich, and those guys. They laid it out, and Phil said to him, "Look, we want you on the team, but it's going to take every sacrifice you have." Gonzalo Higuain is going to demand nothing but everything from you. And everyone else is fighting for your spot to knock you out. And so it was like a step back, you know, to the reality of, oh my gosh, my kid is 17 years old. He's going to prom. He's got to graduate from school. And here this guy told me it takes everything he has to get to this next level. So
No
it's
pressure at all.
The sacrifice is worth it, right? To get to that level. That's good.
The sacrifice is real, 100%. He you know, he's given up a lot to be where he's at, and he deserves a lot of what he's getting. But at the same time, with everything, it just hard work. You know, anything good doesn't come easy. So he's continuing to work hard.
I mean, these words and the path that you have told us how it went. I guess, for example, Maya has her kid that she wants him to become also a soccer player.
Absolutely. I was about to ask. That was my next question right now. Mine is 4 years old. And what is something that you probably can tell me that I should do for, like, when he was 4 years old? Is there anything specific you did, or you just took him to practice, to watch the games? What did you do?
I mean, the love of the game is the love of the game, right? So you got to have fun. That's the number one thing, is to just always spend time having fun with the game. And then, of course, being disciplined with the technique, because when they're young, they don't care about technical things and stuff like that. But if you can teach them technical things when they're young, later when they're older, they don't have to worry about that anymore. So the most important thing wasn't about winning or losing. It was about learning and being as technical as possible with the ball, comfortable with the ball at your feet. You know, I see in youth soccer a lot, people scream, "Oh, pass the ball, pass the ball. Why didn't he pass the ball?" No, let him take the guy on when he's 6 years old, 7 years old, because you can teach him to pass later in their life. You know, right now he needs to learn how to be comfortable with the ball and with pressure and those types of things. So look, it's important to find good coaching, and it's important to realize that you have good coaching, because a lot of parents want to get involved more with the kids' development, and it's important that you let coaches do the coaching and you be the parents, you know. And that's it's tough for a lot of parents, because whether it's whatever country you come from and the passion that you have, you know, you can't let that be on top of the shoulders of the kids. The kids have to relax and enjoy the sport and love it. Otherwise, they're going to be something else, an architect, an engineer, and they're not going to play the sport.
Like you said, they have to have fun. So that's where it starts, right? Having fun.
Absolutely. Just like us in the stands, right? We got to have fun.
Totally agree with that.
100%. That makes sense.
That's right.
So you're pretty much what you have told us that you're doing that with your younger kid right now, right? With Noah's brother, pretty much helping him to push that way as well, I guess.
100%. I mean, he just finished up playing baseball, and we took a giant step that maybe 5 years ago I wouldn't have thought he was going to take, because, you know, the difference between the two boys are so much different.
Okay.
And you know, so you just let it happen as it happens sometimes. And I'm excited because he's really in love with the game, and who isn't in love with Miami right now, right?
Yeah, that's true.
The whole world is watching Miami right now.
It's the
And
world,
your son is there.
You just said the whole world. That is true. You know, like I was going to ask you, what have, I mean, dad-son conversations, how does that go between you guys? I mean, when you finish a game, for example, he just got the first cup and he was in the field, you know, all those details. If you can give us a little bit of that, you know, to have an understanding how it goes. You know?
Absolutely.
Like this.
Absolutely.
Quite a bit.
Maya, you'll like this. The first conversation was, film me so I can send mom a message.
Dale, mom. Hi, mom.
Oh.
So I'll share it with you guys, but it was, "Hi, mom, we did it." You know, it was one of those.
Oh, I got goosebumps right now. Like,
Yeah. It was an NFL, "Hi, mom."
wow.
I mean, that's what it's all about at the end of the day, the family, La Familia,
Yeah.
you know, enjoying
La Familia.
together. Because when you get to succeed like that, like the way Noah has to become a player of the main team, I think it lives a lot on what you have with your family. How do you enjoy that success? And, you know, the team itself has always promoted that. So I think he landed on the right spot playing for Inter Miami, you know,
So I mean, you know, it's great to be local. It's great to have him close because his emotions, his feelings, you know, we're there able to be there for him when the ups and downs. I mean, you know, one game he plays 90 minutes and the next game he doesn't play, right? So 19 years old, you say, me and you, Marco, we say to each other, he's 19 years old. It's no problem. Who cares? He's going to be 23 and he's going to be starting, blah, blah, blah.
Gonna make it, yeah.
But tell him that, you know, 19 years old who's out there sweating and busting ass. And he says, you know, I love Jordi Alba, but I want to beat Jordi Alba, you know, whatever it is that's in his mind to get him going. And so, you know, there's ups and downs for all of them.
No, totally agree with you. I mean, a good thing is I think he can absorb that knowledge from this player that is well known, you know.
Yeah.
It's something that he can benefit from. This is probably listening more to his having him next to him. I mean, that's not something that any player can have, you know what I mean? Having this legend that plays in the position.
Let's turn the questions to you guys. Maya, what was your feeling when they said Lionel Messi is signed to Inter Miami?
I was done. I couldn't believe it. I was like, that's it. This is I can't retire. I don't need to work anymore. I'll be at the field, the soccer game every single day, and the bills are gonna come, but whatever. We can figure this out. What's amazing?
Marco?
Yes, I can't believe it.
Oh, for me, I mean, as you know, I've been in the supportive group since a while, since 2016. And, you know, before when the team didn't have a name, when it didn't have a colors or whatever, it was all just dreams, you know, to have a professional team in Miami.
Right.
And then when it started developing the history that we went to the office to meet with Beckham and talk to the Jorge Mas at that time and Claude, and they were mentioning just as a dream to have this superstar, maybe we can make it. They were talking about Messi, Ronaldo, you know, as a dream. And something that I can always like point out is that the slogan that we use, freedom to dream, that Jorge Mas brought in was the right one, because he knew what he was going to do and he made it happen. I mean, David Beckham, I remember him saying that he wanted Messi in the team. In one of the meetings that we had, he mentioned something like that, and like, but up in the air, you know. And as a follower, you just think, yeah, it could be, you know, it's Miami, but who knows? Because it's maybe when he's in his 40s, almost at the end, you know. But it's like, for me, it was exciting to see him sign, and after this whole you know, soap opera that went on with Saudi Arabia offering that much money, to be honest, I was really negative. I thought he was not going to come. I'm like, 1.2 billion. I'm like, nah, he's not coming. But he showed why he's the best of the world, not only as a player but as a human being. I mean, he preferred his family and really did a good thing on that. I was excited. I mean, what can I tell you, man? I still get my chills on.
So as a human being, I can tell you, you're right. I mean, he's been nothing but a gentleman from the day one. You know, he's treated, you know, the young men there as young men, like put his arm around them, pinch him on the cheek, give him the little pat on the back when they needed the pat on the back, or the little kick in the butt. You know, he's got it all. He's definitely a gentleman.
How did you feel when you found out your son was going to be playing next to Lionel Messi?
It was tough. It wasn't as easy as you might think as a fan. It was uncertainty. What does this mean for my son? Is he gonna have a spot? Because we know Messi's gonna bring the best, and he's gonna demand the best, and he's got a friend Jordi Alba, who's gonna take my son right back out of the position who he just jumped into.
Yeah.
You know, Noah's been, you know, promoted by death a couple times, and you know, I saw it, and we thought, and we looked at each other, and we were like, I said to him, "How do you feel?" He didn't want, you know, it was kind of just a calm, like, I don't know. But I'll tell you, 3 days later, it was nothing but a big smile. And this guy is the real deal for the boys.
I remember seeing on the cameras. I don't remember what game it was that he was defending Noah, right? Something happened that I think someone.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, I mean, hey, Philly was mad. We were getting the best of them. And time was, Noah's going to take the foul in the 90th plus minute and take as much time as he wants, and took a little shot at him. And it's nice to see Messi, of all people, stick up for your son.
Yeah. I mean, not everybody can
Like
see
he got it.
Hey, I'm able to say that my son was subbed in a game before Messi.
Yes.
True.
It's funny stuff. I mean, it's very surreal when you think about it.
I want to ask you something, Terry.
Tell me.
When you guys talk as son and father, I mean, has he mentioned his projections, where he wants to be? I mean, maybe national team, future.
Honestly, I mean, to make it in the top 3 leagues in Europe is is a dream. That is without a doubt, top 5, I should say, I mean, from there, everything here, he's almost, 19 years old. He's kind of, I don't want to say he's, he wants to be a mainstay, of course, in Miami, but like, what else can he do more? He's like, he's playing with some of the greatest players ever. So at this point, he feels that, he can play with these guys and he can contribute to this team. And hopefully over the next few years, they're going to win another title or 2 or 3 or 4. That's his thoughts. He's excited to just be in the presence, though, as a kid. I mean, without a doubt.
What about you? What do you see? Like, what do you want to see as a father? Where you want him to make it or be in the future on his soccer career again?
I mean, look, honestly, I want the MLS to pay the same amount of money as Europe pays, and then nobody wants to go to Europe. Everyone wants to come to MLS soccer, and that's the dream. I mean, I want there to be as much quality in the MLS as there is in Europe, and then we're competing for the best talent in the world, and my son's right there with him. So, I mean, that would be a dream come true. But I do want him to experience Europe. He's a Greek citizen, so he has some European blood. He has the potential to go over there as a European player, which, as we know, that's an advantage.
Yeah.
And hopefully he's going to use it at one point in his career. But there's no rush. I mean, I'm happy to have him here, still feeding him and folding his laundry and hanging out with him and watching the Prem in the morning and stuff like that.
I'm going to eat breakfast with mommy and daddy. And
Exactly. I'll tell you a secret sandwich at the end.
Do you guys see him as adapting easily to other type of cultures? And I'm talking about not personal side. I'm more talking about, since you know about soccer a little more, football, him to adapting on different environments to play, like you just mentioned, Europe.
Sure.
Just to know his way of being,
So his way of being, that's exactly a great point to bring up, because when people ask me, they're like, oh, I remember Noah when he was young, and my son, different friends, we played together, and Noah was always a good player. But, maybe he wasn't the standout player that scored, 3 goals a game and stuff like that. And I'd say, that's right. That's not his way. His way is that he goes to practice. He learns something in practice and he applies it in a game. And if he fails, he learns better so that he can apply it better the next time. But he doesn't give up on the idea that he's being taught. Where a lot of players I see, as you kids that I saw, they learn something in practice and then they turn around and get into a game and the nerves come in, the pressure comes in, and you go back to what you only know. And that's where, the relaxation of having fun and playing has to come into the thing. But one thing I feel is that he has the great ability to apply what he learns in practice in the game, which ends up becoming a good result. And I think going to Europe or something like that, he'll learn he has to learn in practice, and the game will just be the game. He'll apply what he learns in the practice in the game. And right now, I mean, knowing what I've seen in the past, like these got to be the best practices this guy can ever freaking get.
For sure. I mean, he has these legends next to him, and even one that plays in the same position. So yeah, like I mentioned earlier.
Exactly.
Does he want to miss any practice?
He hasn't missed a practice in 3.5 years.
See,
discipline is there.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Look, there's a lot of these kids, the academy demands it. And, there's 30 kids on a team or 20 something kids on a team. And there isn't one kid on that team that doesn't have the discipline. I mean, to be at that level, you have to have that discipline.
He's really young still.
Sure.
So he's a sponge right now for what I see. Like I tell you, I think he's been done really well since he started. I mean, all the fans recognize that. We see that he has the talent, definitely. And I guess my personal view is that this will help him to maybe go a step, get up on a higher step now.
Absolutely.
Feeding himself with all this information of a player that has, as a background that has Jordi Alba, and as a legend that he is, I think he will learn from the best, like you said. And then being next to Messi, I mean, I don't know. We can only imagine how it is to be with the best of the world,
So think about it. Noah's a left back. Where does Messi play?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So who's Noah guarding in practice?
Wow.
But of course, you got to keep the space.
I know what you mean.
Don't step on the shoelaces.
Enough.
One time when Noah was 15, he got called up to the USA national team, the boys team, and he went with them to California. Then from that trial, he made the Croatia team. They went and played in the tournament in Croatia. And I'm like, oh, should I go? This and that, different things. I'll go to the next one when it's in a better country or something like that. Whatever the excuse was, work, this and that. Yeah. And then the opportunity doesn't come again. Okay. Years go by, a couple years go by. In soccer, it's a long time, right? From game to game seems like year to year. And, you suffer sometimes. And this championship, as much as we want to say tomorrow is going to be another one and on the 27th is going to be another one, they don't come every day. So we have to enjoy when they do come. And I'm glad I was there to be able to enjoy that. That was really exciting.
So I'm sure
once in a lifetime.
I'm sure when he sees you on the stand, he's just, I don't know. I wonder, does he say anything when you didn't go to Greece, or is he excited when he sees you? Does he say anything to you?
So it's funny with me and him, we have a very relaxed feeling about it. But with him and his mom, it's a little more
extra.
Yeah, there's emotion more into it. For me, it's like, cha-ching, there's your sign it, put it, click it in, check it off. Let's go to the next one. Come on. And for mom, it's like, let's enjoy this moment till it doesn't, runs out, So the orange juice is no more I can squeeze out of the orange.
Yeah, again, that's amazing.
It must be exciting to be on the stands and just watch him play every time they call his name.
I mean, if I was a father, I was going to say that too. I wanted to ask you that too. I mean, just watching your kid play and the feel and being there.
That's my son right there. Do you ever say that?
Does it go inside of you? I know you're humble, like you said earlier. Yeah.
Hey, you don't know, but that's my son.
But how does it get inside of you? Like the emotions inside of you.
If you give me an inch, then I turn it. But yeah, I'm kind of quiet until oh, you like football? Okay, guess who my son plays with?
That's all you need.
The funny thing is, when Noah first made the academy, I'm like, okay, my son plays for Inter Miami. And they're like, who? Inter Miami. Miami FC? No, Inter Miami. David Beckham's team. Oh, yes, I know. So now I'm like, my son plays for Inter Miami. They're like, Messi's team? Yes, Messi's team. And that's it. That's it. I'm invited over for drinks and dinner and everything.
When Messi came
Mhm.
I'm sure all his friends were like, can you get a signature? Can you get something? Can you get a picture or something? I'm sure they were asking him. He probably went crazy.
First thing, his girlfriend's father's best friend, who's a Barca fan, says to him, "If I send a video, can you play it for Messi?" And then he responds to the video, and he says, "No."
I'm sure he had a lot
I
of
mean,
those.
we had on the supporters group a lot of people that showed up for after, you know, Messi that never came, you know.
Never.
And it was funny because the day he was announced, I literally screenshot my phone of all the friends that I haven't talked in a while, like 40 messages, because they were seeing me that I was following Inter Miami before this. And
Right.
oh, right, we want this, we like Inter Miami. You know, I imagine the same thing goes with the players, right? I mean,
I think
worse.
a lot of people know how serious Noah is already. I mean, as a person, his personality is very serious, and it's hard to get you can't joke about those things, right? So
Mhm.
it's like, somebody says something to him, "Hey, can I get a picture? Can you give me an autograph?" And he just tells them from the beginning, like,
Straight up.
"I'm here to play with this guy, work hard with this guy, hopefully win championships with this team, and this is my job, and I take it serious." And I think they all get his friends, they all know that about him. He's a very serious person, and
That's
you
good.
know, but every once in a while he gives that little smile, and he's like, "Can you believe this is me with him?"
Oh, that's nice.
That's a good thing to know. You know, that's the fun part of the game. You know, this, like you said, is
Yeah.
his job. He's enjoying it, and that proves that he's enjoying it for real, next to the best of the world.
And look, Jordi Alba, the guy is just as a good person, as a human being to Noah as the other guys, and they're really, I think they understand their role here. Like, one of the things Phil Neville said, back when Phil Neville, gave him his first chance, is that we're trying to find the right people to be part of this organization that buy into certain qualities that we're looking for. And I think you can see that. I mean, between the trio that came, they all have, the family is very important to them. The camaraderie, the years that they've been together is important to them. It's not about, win, lose, money, this, that, and the other. It's about, supporting each other, and let's, trying to make something happen. And I'm seeing that, like, I'll tell you a funny story. Like, even Jordi Alba is like, he's got a, from what I'm hearing, I don't know, but he's got humor to him, and him and Noah are starting. He's trying to create that relationship with Noah and other players on the team, and it's exciting to see.
That's important for the team. I mean, they're creating that, like you said, that friendship, that type of family vibe inside,
Right.
and support of each other.
They're being leaders.
I do have one question I forgot to mention before.
Sure.
Last before. Does he have any other hobbies besides soccer that he also kind of plays around with?
So I mean, Noah loves to play basketball. I mean, if that was, with me and him, that's our thing. Like, he has a day off, which is rarely these days, but he'll look at me and say, "You got 30 minutes to get beat." Yeah.
That's
And
the bond, and
I can only get him on the 3-point contest once in a while. He's got the better shot, but once in a while I get him. But
That's just enough.
just enough. But basketball and fishing's our bond for sure. I mean, we grew up, catching bass and saltwater fishing all the time around South Florida. How can you not fish, right?
yeah, for sure.
I mean, look, one of the things I'll tell you, Southern Legion, you guys are a family, and you guys reach every group, young, old, whatever it is, age, color, this, that, and the other. You guys touch base on everybody, and you're inclusive. That's the word, inclusive. And I always like that. When I met, whoever it was, Ed or Ricardo or whoever it was back in the days when before there was a team, right? There was no team. There was Southern Legion.
That's true.
And I remember just having that feeling of, all right, I'm on the chat, I'm on the chat, I'm here. It might not be the best on the chat, but I'm on the chat and I'm getting some information and
To know what's gonna happen, yeah.
yeah. But the love of the game was growing, and when we got the team and the suffering that we've had and the ups and downs, I mean, ups and downs of the team, ups and downs of players, it's it just shows that it's part of our spirit and what we're going to be.
True.
I'm excited.
True.
I'm excited.
That's where it comes from.
But the party, I mean, that's the thing, the best, nothing better than a pregame barbecue. What's your go-to food before the barbecue? Churipan?
Steak.
Steak.
Picanha. Let's just say picanha for me.
Picanha. I'm going to have to invite you over, Maya.
There you go.
We'll have to do something together.
For sure, man. I mean, you're always welcome. You're part of us. So, whenever you want to come and join us, the doors are open, always open. You already know already how it's lived inside the support.
Sure.
So you have a good idea, like you just mentioned, all the passion that comes in within, and also the information that we try to give out in the fiesta, like you said, the party, the whole sensation of the pregame, the after game, in between, how it's with the music and everything, So
the screaming and the flags and the everything in the middle of the. I have one more question. So whenever Noah ever mentioned to you that he can actually hear us from the stand screaming, and does that help?
So I know there was one game last year. It was at the beginning of the season. We were struggling, and I know when the team at the end of the game booed, or towards the end of the game booed, and he was in the game. It was the Houston game, I remember, and he said how that hurt, and it hurt the whole team. But he has obviously said, yeah, I mean, to walk out and to hear everybody singing, to look over his shoulder and to put his hand on the chest at the Pledge of Allegiance and to see the crowd is like, it's totally surreal for him. That's an exciting feeling to see the passion of La Familia. He loves it.
Yeah, that's when it brings the vibes, right? The energy.
100%. Even when he's in the stands, I mean, like he's like the smoke when he's in on the bench, the smoke covered the field and took us out. And yeah, I'll leave you with the honesty and the truth because I don't know anything else but there's a lot of ups and downs in the game. We suffer as fans, and I suffer as a parent. Sometimes we watch the game and it's easy to say, oh, why did he do that? And I could say a lot of words that I know, that aren't so appropriate. But, it's as a parent watching your son, or not even your son, someone else's son. That's how you start to look at players on the field. You start to look at them like, oh, that's someone else's son, darn him, I'll say it nicely. But you start to also, when you start to appreciate when the good things happen for their family too, and stuff like that. I tell you, a story of Benha Kermashi, I've known him for a couple of years, and his dad Pablo and the brothers and sister, they're good people, and it's great to see what he's doing. And his story, I mean, it's a fantastic story.
We'll probably get to that hopefully sometime soon, and we interview one of his siblings.
Yeah,
I really appreciate that. I mean, to know that the part of the parent or the sibling is important because it's part of La Familia. It's what we try to pray and to give, and as supporters and as a team itself with the directors and all that. So Terry, we appreciate your time. I mean, thanks. Absolutely. This is another episode of, La Familia Talks with Southern Legion.
I mean, and Vamos Inter, that's it.
Vamos Inter. All right, guys.
Thank you for having me here. And, I hope to see you guys out in the parking lot and on the stands. And we'll have some...
We'll have some steak. I'm counting on that steak, man. So
I know right now. I'm like,
so thank you for your support. thank you for your support for Noah, because it means a lot.
Always, always. And
Yeah.
let's go, Noah. Let's go
Yeah.
into it.
Vamos.